It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know, however, is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, where I have a bunch of people sitting around the table staring at their phone, just like in real life, because we're trying to figure out how to get this onto Facebook Live. So if you're friends with any of these people sitting around this table, you got it. Catherine Rose Wood has got it figured out. It's good to see you back here again, Catherine.
You too. Always a pleasure.
It's great to have you back, and you brought Michaela Braun with you this time, who hasn't been on the show for weeks.
She really was the one who orchestrated this time.
You put this together, Michaela?
It was a dual effort.
We haven't seen you, Michaela, for, I don't know, weeks now.
Weeks.
You've been on the show, I don't know how many times, 3 or 4 times?
I don't know. It's just it's a soft spot in my heart for this.
We love having you. And you've been, Catherine, you were on just recently as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah. So you guys are having some sort of joint gig, because you're both musicians and you're both singer-songwriters.
Yes.
So we wouldn't normally have you on both at the same time, but you scammed up some idea of having a joint record release party.
That's
concert.
Exactly what we're doing.
And Ross Carpelman comes on the show once every year.
I am.
He's more like sort of an annual guest.
Yeah, more of an annual guest.
Or once a year, whichever comes first.
You're right.
Right. And the reason Ross is here is because he is the co-founder of the House of Shock.
House of Shock.
Cool.
Yes.
So we like to celebrate Halloween once a year with someone who plays the part of Satan, for real.
I've done it, and I'll do it again.
Are you Satan this year again?
I am 100%. Well, yeah, Satan-ish. Satan-ish.
Satan-ish.
Satan-ish.
Can you be kind of Satan-ish?
I think you can be
Satan-like?
kind of Satan-ish, yeah.
What's your character called?
Lord Belial.
Lord Belial, that's right. And Lord Belial, was he Satan in real life, and whatever Greek mythology or whatever that was?
Who the hell knows? It's all.
Well, you ought to know that.
I should, but I don't know.
You don't know that?
Why would I know?
Belial was the horse that ate hay?
My kingdom for a horse?
Was that it?
Is that what it was?
Who was the evil devil that ate hay? Was that?
No idea.
I just read something about those. And Darling Darla James is here as well.
Hello.
Can we call you Darling, or should we call you Darla?
You can call me darling if you're nice, Miss James if you're nasty.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all nice, so I like Darling.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Did you? Were you called Darling as a child, or you just came up with that later when you became a burlesque dancer?
Well, when I named myself, I really wanted to pick something that could either be a child star or a porn star. Mm-hmm. Really wanted the best of both.
You didn't want to be a
worlds.
child porn star, which would,
no, that would be weird.
Yeah. What would your child star be?
Well, I modeled it all after Darla from The Little Rascals.
Oh, okay. Is that your real name?
No.
Okay. Is James your real name?
No.
Is Darling your real
No.
name? So you're a total fake, the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Nothing about me is real.
Well, who knows your real name?
My mom.
Okay. And what does she think about you being a dancer?
My mom and people who write checks to me. That's about it.
Okay. So you can't open a checking account. Can't you open a checking account under Darling Darla James if that's your stage name?
You could open up an LLC bank account. You can also do like a budget-friendly name change where you can get a bank account in whatever name.
Budget-friendly name change.
Yeah. That's what I like to call it. I'm not sure what the legal term for it is.
Oh, you made that up. Okay.
But it exists.
What is it? It's a bank account under a fake name.
It's not a fake name. Like you legally get a name change, and it allows you to open up a credit, a line of credit, or a bank account.
So,
or something.
so you could call yourself Belial, for example, Ross, at the bank.
I suppose I could, and would probably have better credit as Belial.
People would be scared to refuse you.
Right.
Alone if you're called that. So how long have you been dancing for, darling?
Well, I was doing competitive gymnastics until I was about 9. And then I started getting into traditional circus-style hula hoops through my teenage years into my 20s. And then at one point in time, I was like, how can I be a full-time entertainer without being a real stripper? And then one day, lo and behold, I saw a Facebook ad for New Orleans School of Burlesque tassel twirling workshop. And I was like, well, that'll be a good dumb skill to have at parties. And I went and I had the best time. And
did you learn how to do it?
I did.
Can you do it right now?
I don't have any tassels with me.
You didn't bring them with you?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Because that would be a damn
I'm
good...
dropping the ball.
That's a good
here.
show, right?
Yeah. So what does that entail? That entails sticking things on your nipples
Yes.
and learning to twirl them.
Yes.
Independently, or they both go the same direction?
Well, you can make them go in opposite directions,
wow.
or you could do one at a time.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty
How-
magical.
yes.
I'm trying to think of how you make
We
that
teach this
happen.
class at the New Orleans School of Burlesque.
So now you
Good
teach?
plug here. Good
Now you
plug.
teach
Yes, I
nipple
do
twisting
teach.
or whatever. it's
I've
called.
been full-time in burlesque in New Orleans for the last 5 years, and I've been teaching at the school for 2.
Okay, so you teach other girls, women now, how to rotate their breasts in opposite directions.
Yes, among other things.
Could you possibly describe even how that's possible?
But the easiest way to do it is to just jump,
Jump.
kind of bounce a little.
Yeah, but how do you make your breasts go in?
Okay, so magic
you
trick.
wanna try it?
If you put your arms
my
up
goodness.
and you jump, your tassels will twirl in. If you put your arms down and you jump, your tassels will twirl out.
Okay,
and then if you
girls,
put
what about that?
one arm up and one arm down,
No way.
they'll go in opposite
I've
direction.
literally
Man
always
alive.
wondered about that. I'm not kidding.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's kept me up at night as well, wondering how do I get my tits to go in different directions. How did someone figure that out, I wonder?
Magic.
It is magic.
Someone got bored and
Now,
was
what
like,
did you
"Need a
think
new
when
party
you
trick."
What did you think when you first heard that, though? When you first did it, it must have been a great feeling of accomplishment.
You know, the first class I went to was taught by Bella Blue at the school when they were still in the Crescent Lotus location, and I showed up with 0 expectations, and it was a room of probably 20 other women who also had never been to a class before. We all put on pasties, we all put on glitter for confidence, and then we all just kind of like sat in front of the mirror and jumped up and down for a while
Okay.
until everybody got it. And it was a really magical, fun experience.
Yeah, that must be amazing. Because guys don't have a similar thing, do we, Ross?
Well, I do.
What do you do? You've been to burlesque school?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no school for guys that you could go and have this sort of bonding experience with other
I'm
guys.
so sorry to say that there are.
What is there?
I don't know. Something. I would imagine you can put tassels on your balls and jump up and down.
Well,
You
were.
can.
You can.
See?
seen it
It's been
happen.
balanced.
Is that right? And the same thing will happen as one testicle will go one direction if you have your arm.
Probably just stretch your legs
directions.
out.
Should we
But, you know,
try that
definitely
out?
see-
I mean, I'm game.
Definitely seen Dick Tassels happen.
Dick Tassels.
Yeah.
That is a great name right there.
Dick tassels.
Yeah, that would be a good
Welcome
name
to
for
the
your
stage,
strip. For
Dick
your strip.
Tassels.
That's my new
I think you could
band.
add that to the
The
house
Dick
of Shock.
Tassels.
Well, I was going to say, you know something about dressing up and going on stage.
I do. I've no
You've been in
idea.
a lot of wacky bands where
Oh.
people have dressed up. What are some of the bands you've been in?
Well, I've worked with a lot of bands, more than
Right.
been in a lot of bands. I was in a band called the Christ Inversion.
Christ Inversion.
Christ Inversion.
Dick Tassels and the Christ
Christ
Inversion. I like that already.
Yeah. It was, what it was. We put out 2 records, and it was like during the black metal thing and all that stuff that was going on. I was in a band called the Mystic Crew of Clearlight, which is
Right, that's
probably
one
the
I
only
know.
band that I'm proud of.
That was the one I know, actually.
Yeah.
That's the only one that was any good?
In my opinion, it was the only one that Keys.
So this is Phil Anselmo.
Yes, sir.
So Phil Anselmo was the key to all these.
He was the key to a lot of them. He not Mystic Crew of Clearlight. That was me and some of the guys from Down and other.
And Down is a
bands.
big deal band. as
Down's
well.
a big deal as well, and I've played on a couple of their records, and I've done stuff with Crowbar, with basically every metal band. I mean, I think we've said this before. I'm the only go-to metal keyboardist, in the world.
In the 3-state area.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what, like, metal keyboard. What does that sound like?
You
What
wanna
does that
ha-
involve? Yeah.
Well, it involves presets and then me pressing a key that is usually in the same tonality of what the song is in.
Okay.
Beyond that, I don't really know what I do.
Okay.
Can you play the piano? Like, can you?
No.
Did you play the piano at the
I don't
party,
think
like for
so.
Happy Birthday?
Maybe a happy birthday, but I would have to sound
To
it
work
out.
it out.
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
to work it out. Get some practice in on it.
So do you call yourself a musician?
No, I call myself.
See, this is the first word here.
This is
Ross Copeland
musician.
is a musician.
Well, you
Who has
asked me if
been-
I call myself a musician, and the answer is no. Other people have called me a musician, but
Right. So what do you call yourself? Entrepreneur?
I call myself a large Jewish man that has had a lot of luck.
You are pretty large, but you're not as large as you used to be. You're still pretty big.
I'm still a large man, yeah. And
how much do you weigh?
Well, I've lost about 20 pounds, so I'm probably about 330.
330.
Yeah.
And then, see, what happened to you? Because the last time I talked to you, this is all on Facebook or email or something.
It was in the hospital.
You were in the hospital. This is up to like yesterday.
Yeah, I got out a couple days ago. I still have some more wounds here.
So tell us all about it. It sounded
Would you really like to hear about my kidneys?
It's a kidney problem.
Kidneys. I had an infection in my kidneys, and I still do. So no one drink my pee.
Other than that, is it contagious?
No, it's not contagious.
Can we make out with you?
You probably could. I mean,
that's an exciting development right there.
Well, there we go.
But would I catch anything?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so it's a kidney infection?
It's a kidney infection. I got to be on IV antibiotics for the next 10 days to get the...
IV antibiotics?
Yeah, so I have a port
right here. Really? That thing here on your arm is like a...
It's, right, going into my vein. Right.
So we could stick anything in there. What have we got? What are you drinking?
What are we drinking?
Well, it sounds like that will negate the effects of your antibiotics.
Well,
maybe we should stay away from the alcohol. But.
Well, are you drinking alcohol today?
No.
I'm not allowed to.
No.
What are you drinking, Dal?
Tequila.
Tequila. Can we tip it in?
We could. I don't want to, but
Yeah.
I'll do whatever we got to do.
All right. I would love to
The show must go on.
Yeah, exactly. So you could shoot that tequila right into your...
If we had the correct hookup syringe thing, yes.
Somebody here is an intravenous drug user for sure.
I'm sure a lot of them.
Wayfair.
Yeah.
One of our crew over... Thomas. You intravenous drug? C-Rock. Well, no one here uses drug. No one's going to admit that they're intravenous drug users. Somebody is, though, for sure.
I'm not.
What's the burlesque world like when it comes to intravenous drug use? Is there a lot of it?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it's not like the same as a stripping
No,
world.
I mean, unless someone's like intravenously injecting glitter into themselves, I don't really
That wouldn't
think there's a ton of it happening.
What made you decide to become a burlesque dancer, not a stripper? What was the...
Well...
Why didn't you want to be a stripper?
Stripping, so there's a lot of differences between traditional style club stripping and burlesque. The
and
main
tripping
one,
as well, which is a good Freudian
yeah,
slip.
that one's way out there.
There's differences between stripping and burlesque.
Absolutely.
Okay, what other differences that...
The best way that I've ever heard it put was club stripping is you're allowing someone to portray their fantasy onto you. Burlesque, you are putting your fantasy out into the audience. And there's a whole ton of emotional work that happens when you're a club dancer. Like you have to make someone like you in 30 seconds, enough to spend a few $100s of
When you
money
say
for your time.
what does that actually mean?
It means they have to want to hang out with you.
Do they?
Yeah.
They don't want to have a fantasy about fucking you? Or...
No, but they have to want to do that within 30 seconds with the competition of 100 other girls on the floor. So you have to be able to connect with them immediately.
But are you trying to get a guy to want to have sex with you, is what I'm saying? Is that
I mean, no strippers having sex with
No,
clients.
but that's the fantasy that the guy is putting onto you, right?
Sure.
It is. So that's the difference.
No, I wouldn't say that would be the primary difference. I'm saying it's a petri dish of people just coming in and you being whatever it is that they want you to be. Versus when you're on stage at burlesque, you are presenting like a thought-provoking, choreographed number into an audience, and you're making them feel good for 5 minutes or whatever.
But isn't burlesque just stripping?
Oh, burlesque is absolutely...
Back a few hundred years?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that what stripping was?
Burlesque
before
is
we went off the rails here?
Mom of strip clubs, the same way that pinup is the mom of pornography.
Yeah. So you are a stripper, except you're a stripper in 1950 or 40 instead of a stripper in 2017.
I like to call it stripper light.
Stripper light. Do you really say that?
Retro stripping.
Yeah, retro stripping. That's good. That's a good title too.
It is like the babyest version of sex work that there is.
Right. But do you think of it as sex work?
Absolutely.
Oh, you do? Really? So why wouldn't you just want to go all the way and be a club stripper?
There's still a lot of emotional effort that you have to put in. It is very taxing on the body to be dancing in, 8-inch heels for 4 to 8 hours, and then you constantly have to have the same conversation over and over and over again with people. Hi, what's your name? I'm Candy. Where's you from? What are you doing here?
That's
today?
part of the gig.
Like constantly, over and over and over again.
So it's
So you
not
can,
just, you're not just a dancer if you're a stripper.
No,
Whereas
you're
if
doing-
you're a burlesque artist, you're just dancing only.
So much emotional labor goes into club stripping that's not really there for burlesque.
Well, you've obviously thought about it. Being a stripper, it's crossed your mind. I mean, you must make a lot more money as a stripper, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. There's a really funny thing we say where the main difference between being a club stripper and a burlesque dancer is about $900 a night.
Well, so what are you making tonight? About $100?
I'm not working tonight, so I'm making
Right.
absolutely nothing.
How often do you work?
I work weekly, about Wednesday through Saturday, Sunday sometimes.
At various burlesque shows around
Yeah,
town.
variety of things, private events. I also do a lot of costume work, so on nights that
What
I'm
is costume work?
I make costumes for a lot of the other dancers around the country.
Oh, so you're handy.
Yes, I'm very crafty.
You can sew.
Yes, I make all my own costumes as well.
So is burlesque like as big? It seems like New Orleans has like a million different burlesque groups and shows. Is it as big around the country, or is it mostly here in New Orleans?
I would say the three biggest burlesque meccas in the U.S. would be New York, Chicago, and New Orleans.
No kidding.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because it's also the murders are big in Chicago and New Orleans.
Yeah, they're totally related.
You think so?
Taking your clothes off makes other people want to kill other people.
Would be funny if there was some sort of causal connection. What was the first? New York is the first one.
Yeah.
I think the murder rate's gone down in New York as far as I know recently.
Unfortunately.
So that's the end of that theory.
Are we winning?
Are we
Murder
winning?
capita?
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're number one. Hey, who's texting you?
Angie Z is texting me.
What she's
She's
got
been
to
on the
say.
show before.
She has. What has she got to say? Anything good?
Let's see. Well, Jonathan, who's a drag queen who works with us often, wants to go to the West Bank for Wednesdays at the Point. Bella Blue says she has yoga teaching, and I'm here. Angie D says she doesn't deserve a day off.
So this is a friend of yours who's a drag queen who wants someone to go and get in trouble with tonight.
Yes, exactly.
And you're not doing it either.
Well, I'm here, so I can't.
Well, it's only 4 o'clock in the
I
afternoon or
mean,
something.
you got plenty of time.
I have
Ross
to
is-
pack when I go home.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Minneapolis tomorrow morning for the Burlesque Festival and to do Black Hearts Burlesque while I'm there.
To do what, burlesque?
Black Hearts Burlesque.
Black
It's a big
Arts.
show.
A what?
Black Hearts.
Black
Burlesque.
Hearts.
It's produced by Electrocute in Minneapolis. It's a big show at Lush.
Well, there's a whole world going on out there.
I wish I was closer to it.
And what are you doing tonight? You're getting up and being...
Yeah, we're going to run
Satan.
through our stage show, which unfortunately I'm not going to be in this weekend. I missed the first weekend because I
of
was
your
in the
kidney
hospital.
disease.
Yeah, and
What a fucked up situation that Satan has a kidney.
I know.
It doesn't even make any
It
sense.
doesn't make sense.
Do you think there's such a thing as a god now?
I was like, yeah, this is the wrath of God.
Right? We waited 25
Get up,
years.
Beelzebub.
It's like, you could have let me know something a little earlier. But yeah, so we're going to go run through the stage show with my understudy.
Who gets to play the part of you?
General Abaddon is going to be himself. He's the other character, and he's just going to he wasn't going to do it this year. He had retired, but I pulled him back in.
What's the stage show?
Oh, we do a 5 to 7 minute choreographed show with live actors and stunts and pyrotechnics, tons of pyrotechnics. That's why we really got to be on our game and know where we're standing and stuff, because all those pyrotechnics go off, so we can't just be standing anywhere. So we need to know our blocking and all that kind of stuff, and that's what we're running through tonight
And that's at the House of Show?
at the House of Show. Okay?
That's so cool.
So you get to see that as part of your admission fee.
Yeah, and that's actually free. That we give you that. You can just come down the street. We got a bar. Come down the street. We got bands playing every night. We got freak show acts. Sideshow Matt. I don't know if you know Matt, right? He's going to be there. And we got Reverend Be Dangerous. We used to have Sin. She said she performed there herself.
You've performed there, Darling
I used
Darla?
to be part of the fire show that was at the House of Shock
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Which was great. And they were really good.
And what happened?
The troop leader of Singe, Amy, was
Singe.
suffering. Yeah, that was the name of the troop. She was suffering from really bad
Back, right?
disc problem
Yeah.
in her back, and she has a lot of sciatica pain, and she's since retired.
Oh, that would be bad. That's worse than the kidney disease even.
I have sciatic too. So
You have that as well.
I'm
Well, you
double
know
up.
what's going on then.
I mean, I'm old and fat.
Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, I mean, it's the truth.
Would you describe him as old and fat, Catherine?
I wouldn't say that, but I think you can say whatever you want about yourself.
Michaela,
You wouldn't say
would you
it.
describe Ross as old and fat?
Well, no, I mean,
No.
put it this way, like I have cancerous moles I've had removed many times, but as a teenager I used a tanning bed a lot, and I would do it, and I'd be like, I'm probably going to skin cancer one day, and
guess what?
too
You
bad,
did.
you know? So when you're like saying, I'm like, yeah, you know, you take responsibility,
How
you
awesome.
make the choice.
So you gave yourself skin cancer
I
knowing
did.
as
I
a kid that you were
knowingly
going to
did it.
get skin cancer.
Right.
I wonder if you brought that on yourself by willing it.
Maybe I did. Maybe.
Because I've sat out in the sun for thousands of hours and I've never thought about it. I've assumed I'm not going to get skin
Well, I was going to
cancer.
say, well, how often do you go to a dermatologist?
0 times. How often are you
Yeah, once a year.
supposed to go? And what do they tell you? That's
They
why I
inspect
don't.
your moles and see
That's
what's
why I don't
changed.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, eventually, because it'll affect all of your body, and you'll just drop dead one day. So,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm planning on.
That's the way to go.
At least that much I know is going to happen.
Anyway,
So where were these cancerous moles of yours, Catherine?
on my back. Yeah,
Really?
I had a couple on my back. Need to have removed, but some are removed, some are still there.
Have you ever seen them? Do they take them
no,
off
I
and
mean,
show them
it's
to you?
kind of hard to like. I don't know.
Yes,
if
you
you
have.
How would you know
notice.
that you had it?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, the doctor knows, right?
Oh,
so you
Right,
go
but
when
you
get
believe
inspected
everything the
and-
doctor says to you? Oh, you've got cancerous moles. I'm going to have to take those off at $1,800.
Well, they have to do a biopsy. They look at something and say this looks kind of irregular, and they do a biopsy and then get the results back from a lab. So
And say, and what happens then? You get a phone call that says, hey, congratulations,
So,
you've got skin
yeah,
cancer.
so you have cancerous cells, and you need to get this removed. And at this point, I'm like
So you
5
get a-
times in. I'm pretty used to it.
You've had that 5 times. So do they have to take it off enough around the actual mole to make sure they've got like an edge, right? So they stop getting, so the cells haven't spread. So
Yeah.
how big are these holes in
Lot
your back?
bulging.
Are they gigantic?
They're not. No, they're not. They're not huge. They're not huge by any means. I would estimate. I don't know, like a nickel, size of a nickel.
Can we see them if we look at your back?
No, they're all covered up by.
Oh.
I think I have one.
Covered up by clothes.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
I have
your
one
tattoos?
on my upper back, but
Do they mess up your tattoos at all?
no, I've never had.
No worries.
But also, I'm wondering because there's so much ink there, they can't really see. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And I've had these for a while, so.
So it's
But like I said, it's a risk you take, and I was a teenager, and I was like, I don't care.
is way
So
more-
are you still going
pay
out
for
in the
my
sun?
mistakes. Yeah, with a lot of sunscreen.
Okay. Michaela, do you like to go out in the sun as well?
I do. Yeah.
Right.
I wear a lot of sunscreen too, though. It's important
It is.
because
Well,
I
you're-
can't afford a dermatologist.
So you could be riddled with skin cancer right now and not know a thing about it.
Yeah, how you can
Well,
understand that.
Catherine, how do you afford to go to one? Have you got,
I actually
you got
have
good health
Medicaid.
insurance?
Once I went back to school full time, I got on Medicaid, and
How's that right?
they
You can-
pay for dermatology.
What are you
too.
studying full time at school?
I started out in speech pathology over the summer and was like, no. And so after a semester of that, I went into counseling, but medical counseling. So working with people who either have acquired or, natural disabilities or diseases. So working in like hospital medical settings, working in facilities for like folks with intellectual and developmental disability.
What's the job exactly? I mean,
So you're counseling their themselves and their family systems on how to work with whatever particular diagnosis they have in their setting, but trying to put them in the least restrictive community. So also working on things like job placement and maybe accommodations if there's a physical disability, like in the home, altering equipment and materials.
Weren't you already doing this, though? Weren't you already
Music
a
therapy is what I've been doing for almost 7 years.
Why would you want to throw that into do this other stuff?
Well, music therapy is not a growing field in New Orleans. It's a dwindling field since I've been here. And I really love it, but I also like the opportunity to kind of grow my skills and abilities, and these populations are the ones I like to work with the most, so it just made sense to go back and kind of build on that education.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. It's much better than the speech program.
So,
the best
so
way to put
you're
it.
hanging out with people who are like in a bad way or suffering.
Sure.
or
Yeah, like
their
last week I've
families.
been spending a lot of time on Toro's spinal cord and brain injury unit, and working on counseling like through disability and resource management there, and then psychoed, which is like more about, okay, you have this new process in your life and adjusting to the limitations you're going to have, and then the mental health pieces that come with that. the emotions that are
And what
there.
do you like about that? Is it helping people?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a major, helping profession.
Yeah, it must
I like
be.
that. Yeah.
It's not depressing being around people who are all messed up and sick and dying.
I think for some people it could be, but I find a lot of purpose.
To have a hangover?
You know, it's funny you say that because a lot of the spinal cord injury are people who got their, whether it was an accident, a slip and fall, a car accident, something like that. So, and one of the pieces of, now I'm not doing this yet because again, I'm still a student and I don't want to, step on any toes by saying I am this thing. But I have been observing where they were doing like psychoed groups about, yes, you have this new acquired illness and it's going to make you want to go back to some old habits, but we need to talk about substance abuse rehab.
That's so important, I think. I didn't know all the details about this program that you're doing. That's awesome.
What do you guys talk about when you're together mostly?
We sing a lot.
We sing a lot.
We just break into song with everything.
It's like a musical.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But, you get to the doctor and you get your diagnosis and you're like, okay, well, here are your medicines. Good luck. And then you don't really have a way to because whenever something like that happens, I assume you're not ready for it. If it's something like a drunken accident where you hurt your spine, and then it's important to have people to kind of ease you into, okay, this is what's going to happen next in your life for a while.
Right.
I think that's
So that's what you're doing. And who's paying for all these people who get drunk and have an accident and then?
Insurance. And, Toro is the only hospital in the state that will take someone regardless of insurance, and they have a dedicated spinal cord brain injury unit. So, but while they're there, if you're uninsured, then they get you applied on Medicaid.
It's a pretty expensive.
Yeah, and that's why you only get a month in an inpatient setting, which is not enough to
So you have
get
a
any kind of rehabilitation.
spinal cord or neurological injury and you get 1 month.
Yeah.
And then what happens to you?
And then you go into outpatient treatment, which hopefully you can get at least 6 months of, depending on your insurer. Some people less, some people more in the severity, and you'll go daily to things like physical therapy and occupational therapy.
Yeah, but what happens when the month is up? They tell you to go home with
You
your,
get
with your
discharged.
brain
Yeah,
injury?
it's something. It's
Hopefully
been a
you
really
have a support system if something.
exactly.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is you have a lot of people coming in with no support system.
Right.
And it's been interesting to learn of situations too where folks maybe thought they had someone in place, and then in times of need, maybe they did someone dirty, and that person is not coming through for them, and it's a major emotional check.
Right.
How did you spend your life?
So people get revenge on each other by not helping out
Basically,
their partner
yeah.
once they've had a spinal or brain injury. That
And you
sure
have
would be a
people-
good way to get back at somebody.
Yeah, you're at their mercy, so you
Yeah.
can just poke them with forks.
Right. You're right. I mean, you're totally right.
Good luck with your brain injury.
Yeah, and for people who don't have a home that they're able to return to or financial ability to be in a nicer rehab setting for a longer amount of time, they end up going in nursing homes. 18-year-olds going in nursing homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cautionary tale then.
Yeah.
Well, thank God we have Hangover
I know, I was
Destroyer,
gonna say,
which is the only
lead into
all-natural
our-
product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Did you know about this, Ross?
I didn't know. Is that something
Well-
you take before or after?
I think you can take it before, during, and after drinking alcohol. You can, in fact,
even during.
Yeah, you can go to the website hdestroyer.com and find out more about it. You can also write the words happy hour in their coupon code, and you can get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer. So you can see
And
the
it's a
dawn. and-
natural cinnamon flavor.
It's a natural cinnamon flavor, and you can have that, Michaela.
Thank
I'd love
you.
to. You have a special sachet. What's the word for it?
What?
What would that container be called?
Oh, I don't know. A
Sachet.
packet?
Pouch? I don't know.
Do you think it's
Packet.
ironic that it says please drink responsibly?
Well, they say that on everything now. I think they have to put that. It's on beer cans and
Water
it's on
bottles.
everything. Darla, would you like one too?
Kind of.
Are
I
you-
mean, it might come in handy.
Are you
later.
likely to drink to the point of having a
I
hangover?
am always likely to drink.
Well, help yourself to as much Hangover Destroyer as you like.
I will take one myself.
Also, while I'm telling you about our sponsors, we have two more to tell you about. Basics Swim and Gym is the place where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. You can get a bikini, a one-piece, a cover-up. Hey, what about that would help you save you getting skin cancer.
I know.
is
You're
true.
right.
If you'd been to Basics Swim and Gym on Magazine Street,
Get a
right
cover
down
up.
from Jefferson Avenue, you could have got a cover-up and prevented that skin cancer, Catherine.
It was my teen years,
15 years.
man. Yeah, it's like
It's been open
14
for
years
19
ago.
years. You could have gone there any day.
Oh, damn.
Did you go up here?
No,
Where were
I've
you?
lived here for 9 years. I grew up in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. I didn't even know it was sunny there. Well, you have a tanning bed.
And, yeah, I went. To
That's what did it. That's probably what fucked you
that.
up.
No,
is
that was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
So that's just like lying right under the sun,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Worse
I really wanted to look
it's
like
worse than the
J-Lo.
sun.
Okay.
Darla, are you from here, Darla?
I am.
From what part of the city?
I grew up uptown, not far from here, actually, right on Robert Street. And
That's very close to here.
went to Lake Castle.
Went to what? You're very
Lake
very
Castle,
quiet.
middle
Castle.
school,
Lake Castle.
Ursuline and Noka.
Where's Lake Castle?
It's out in the east,
New
actually.
Orleans East. Yeah, my daughter went there.
She
It
did?
ruined my life. You should take your daughter out of it.
Well, she went there for 2 years and then she was out.
Yeah.
Did it ruin her life or something?
Her life is actually pretty good, so I would like to say that she's.
Oh, but there's more chance of you ruining her life than education. Being, you know, your father being Satan would be a little hard to live
And she was in
down.
the haunted house and everything. Yeah, she regrets
She grew
all
up
of
there.
it.
How old is she now?
She's 27 now.
Is she really?
Yeah,
Oh
she's
my
got a
God,
7-year-old
that's
son.
amazing. So you're a granddad. Granddad Satan.
Grandpa Satan.
Grandpa Satan. I have to write that down as well. I'm going to forget that as well. So, Darla, you really think you got fucked up completely by that school? Have you got
Absolutely.
over it, or is it you still messed up from it?
Every now and then I catch myself where I'm like, why am I making this choice? Is it because of this experience I had when I was a young adult, or do I actually have this opinion?
And what sort of thing are you talking about? Like
The school is very...
voting Republican or something?
No.
What
the
sort of a
school
decision are you making?
was very anti-women and anti-creativity. Boys and girls got separated at PE under the guise of like the girls couldn't play with the boys because girls have organs that could be damaged for reproductive purposes. It was extreme. Like
Do they?
it was extreme.
How
yeah.
could you damage a uterus exactly?
I mean, the same way you can damage your dick.
Well, I can think of a number of ways you could damage your dick, actually, but in PE.
Car door.
Knife.
Knife. Yeah.
I'm not sure how you could hurt your uterus. What was their thinking? What sort of a school was this? Like a religious?
It was actually just a private school.
Not
Not
religious at all.
religious. Private school. They
it's
did
still
have
there.
Catholic classes.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, my older sister went there. That school's been around for decades.
Well, what made your parents decide they wanted to send you there from all the way uptown? You could have gone to any other private schools and got messed up. You could have gone to McGee. I love this new McGee slogan I've seen on the streets, by the way. Have you seen this?
What is it?
It says, she's worth it.
What?
I don't understand.
She's worth it.
Interesting.
She's
That's
worth
their
what?
slogan?
To go to McGee?
That's the
Sounds
name
like a
of...
makeup line.
She's... It does, doesn't it?
Right,
Wasn't
yeah.
that like L'Oreal or something?
Yeah.
Because
oh my
you're
God,
worth
you're
it.
right. Yeah.
Because you're worth
Wow.
it. She's worth it, I
freaking
assume,
weird.
means that it costs $20,000 a year to go to McGee or something. But you might as well stump up the money because
She's worth it.
she's worth $20,000 a year.
He's not worth
It seems
Right,
to me,
she's not worth
it seems to me to be like a pretty unfortunate slogan that, you know.
Well, yeah,
You
and
have
they're
to
saying
dr-
if you can't afford it, your kid
Yeah.
isn't worth it.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
Exactly. That's precisely what I'm thinking. It's very strange. It's all over
He's
the
probably
place.
not.
So have you been in therapy or anything, Darla? To try and get
Oh,
over?
totally. I spent years in therapy.
You did. How many years at the school did you go to?
I went from kindergarten through 8th grade, so I completed the
A
whole
long
thing.
time.
Oh, so they had a long time to
I
fuck you up.
begged my mom to pull me out of it every day for years.
Well, what made her want to send you in? Was it your sister, you said?
I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
You never thought why she made you go there and not, why wouldn't she have sent you to McGee's or to Newman or some other place around here?
I begged constantly
Well,
to
can
get
we
pulled
call
out
her
of
up? Is she still home?
it. No, I don't think this is the right time.
Not the right
for that
format?
Conversation.
But you did eventually go to Noka?
Yes,
What did you
I went to
do?
Noka in high school. I studied visual arts.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And then you became a performance artist, in fact.
Yes.
Can you still paint? Oh, you still make clothes. You're extremely talented, apparently.
Multifaceted.
Right. So you didn't get completely screwed up by this Lake Castle school.
Part of me values the experience that I had because I feel like it's given me a lot of insight into how other people think and how other people live and how society expects someone to behave. And the other part of me is like, man, I could have just fucking skipped that whole lesson and it would have saved me a lot of
Right.
time and a lot of stress and a lot of tears.
So you hated every single day of school, basically.
Absolutely.
God, that's a terrible thing to do to a kid, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you're still talking to your mom.
Well,
We're going deep here, buddy.
we are.
We're
We're
going
getting
deep.
real sentimental. You know, my mom and I had a really rocky relationship up until a few years ago, actually, when I started doing burlesque.
That's
She
interesting.
was very anti me participating in it at all. And I was very quick to say, well, too bad. That's what I'm going to do.
She was afraid you were going to hurt your female parts.
It's possible.
Yeah.
No, but I think she had a quick realization that I had been so independent for so long that I didn't really need anyone.
Or her approval.
And it was going to
Right,
be
you're gonna do it
her
anyway.
choice to be a part of my life. And part of that choice was accepting what I wanted to do with my life and what I wanted to be.
Is any part of your decision to become a burlesque dancer a form of retribution or getting back at your mom for?
No.
For
No,
any
I
of it?
wouldn't say that at all. I've always been kind of fascinated with exotic dance. I remember being yay high and seeing Dita Von Teese in the martini glass and being like, I want to be that when I grow up. So from a very young age, I'd always been super fascinated in exotic dance and sex industry and all the stuff that goes with it.
Do you think it's the second time you said that. Is it really related to the sex industry?
Absolutely.
I
Wholeheartedly,
feel like
I
there
would
would be
say
some
yes.
burlesque dancers who would be quick to say, like, don't say
Oh,
that.
there definitely are, and I would be quick to say that they are mistaken severely. The entire history of burlesque stems into the birth of the sex industry.
Well, when you say sex industry, automatically, I guess you think
Most people think prostitution.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many different tiers of sex industry. I would say prostitution would be the highest that you could get. There's not really any more you can do after that.
It's like being
Following
the
that,
CEO kind of a company.
basically, yeah. There is a thing that another burlesque dancer has coined as the Whorachy.
The
And
Whorachy.
yes,
I like
it's
that.
the
Man, that's
hierarchy of
excellent.
sex
I'm writing
workers.
that down.
There you go.
You've got some good ones. It's hard to spell Whorachy, actually.
Do like
W-H-O-R-E
and then
then
where the H
hyphen.
spawns off, you start going into hierarchy.
So it would be W-H-O-R-E-A-C-H. Why, that looks like Whorachy.
I don't
Just
think
take
you're doing
E out
it.
after the R.
That's after a long night
Or
of working.
W-H-O-R-A-R.
So there'd be no E. It's just Whorachy. Oh, yeah, okay. There's no E and there's no hyphen. Whorachy.
Yes.
That's
So-
a great term. Who made that up?
Prostitution would be at the very top of the pyramid, and then burlesque would be at the very, very bottom.
Right.
Where would porn be?
Like right underneath prostitution. Probably like prostitution, dom work, and then maybe pornography, because there's no actual like contact with a client. And then you go down into like club stripping and then burlesque and things adjacent.
Okay, so you're at the very bottom of
The very
sex
bottom,
industry.
yeah.
Of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Of the Whorachy. That's great.
I love that word.
And also, don't forget about Louisiana Legs, everybody. Louisiana Legs sell workout and yoga clothes designed from photography by our photographer, Alison Moon. Alison's designs incorporate photos from Mardi Gras beads and boiled crawfish to wrought iron in France and caves in China. You can check out some on Facebook and Instagram at Louisiana Legs, and they're available for purchase on Etsy, where the words Louisiana Legs is one word. It's like Whorachy, but it's Louisiana Legs. Check it out. Alison, thank you for writing that out by hand for me. I could almost read it. It's pretty good. So now, this is the next thing we have to do is hear some music.
Oh, should we do it?
So,
Should we do it now?
first of all, just tell us a little bit about what's going on. The reason that you two are here together is because you both have new records coming out.
Yes, we're a package deal
Like
today.
this week. You're both.
All week. Yeah, all week.
Now, were you planning these two records to come out at the same time all along, or is this just
No.
serendipity?
Yeah.
We play together a lot, and we enjoy it. And so I remember asking if you'd play during my release show, and I think you asked the same, and then we just kind of stopped talking about it. We hadn't planned anything yet. And then we ran into each other at Wednesdays at the Square, and we were both like, oh, I'm thinking of doing October. And you were like, oh, I'm doing mine in October. And I was like, oh my God, how are we going to get everyone to come to
We
both
were like,
of them?
what venue did you get? And I was like, Gasa. You're like, that's where I want to go. Why don't we just do it together?
Yeah, so it's kind of serendipitous.
And are you playing on each other's records?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
So
That should be the next. We
Yeah.
have a duets album.
Oh my
So
God.
it's pretty unbelievable.
We've been told a lot that we should do something like
Really?
that. So, yeah.
Do you have a lot in common musically? Because, what you have musically in common is that I can't find either of these records on the internet
They're
anywhere.
not out yet.
They're
No,
not released.
I thought maybe somebody would let me listen to something. Wouldn't you have thought, Ross?
Well, what are you doing
we have
Sunday?
some single. Yeah, there
Well,
we go.
Sunday I can come, but I thought before the show I could listen so I can say, you know what, these two records are really awesome.
Have you had
But
any singles
no one
out
sent
yet
me anything.
from the album?
I've released one single,
You have?
Grand.
Still here.
I did not see it.
It's on SoundCloud and Bandcamp
I
and
couldn't
Facebook.
find it on SoundCloud. What's it called?
It's called I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here. I did see that. I thought that was your old song.
It's off the new album. I've never recorded it before.
But I've heard
played
you
it
sing
before.
it. Oh, okay. That's where I went wrong. I thought that was on your last
Yes.
record. I've heard you play it. That is a nice song.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
That's
your
the one we're
first
doing
single.
today.
You're doing it today?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it then.
Okay.
Okay, what are you doing then, Catherine? Are you just singing along?
Yeah, we've worked some of the songs that we do on our own repertoire into duets, and then we just have some songs that we've always done as duets. So,
Okay.
so
And then
this one today.
do we have any music from Christ Inversion to listen to?
Please don't do that.
C-Rock?
Don't ruin their great.
C-Rock, did you find anything?
Don't ruin it.
Yeah, found.
You found some Christ
YouTube.
Inversion?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Christ Inversion.
Okay, well, let's
God.
check that out afterwards.
yeah.
But first, we're going to listen to I'm Still Here,
I guess my headphones.
which is a Michaela Braun song. How do we do that? How do we figure this out, actually? Without headphones. Oh,
We can hear each other.
can you hear it okay over there, Michaela?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
I'll just, we'll see what happens.
All right, let's give it a shot.
It's been a long time. Fancy seeing you again. I never thought we'd circle back around. But look where we've found ourselves now. And all I wanna do is just believe that you and me could be something. We never even gave ourselves a chance. I told myself that I would never let you get to me again. But I don't want this to be the end. So let me be completely clear. If your heart is still open, I'm still here. And I knew last time I saw you that things would never be the same. Looking back, oh, that wouldn't be the worst thing in our case. All I want to do is just believe that you and me be something. Give ourselves a chance. I told myself that I would never let you get to me again. But I don't want this to be the end. So let me be completely clear. If your heart is still open, I'm still here.
Can
It's
follow
not.
that?
No.
That was a beautiful piece of music.
Thank you.
And singing from both of you.
Thanks.
Nice.
It was
How did it
beautiful.
go for you two? Was it come out how you?
Yeah, we've done that song
You've done
quite
it.
a bit lately.
Have you been doing the Have you been doing the rounds around town? Radio
We were
stations
at,
in
WWL yesterday morning.
It was yesterday.
on TV.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we leave here, we're going to go to WGNO tonight, and that'll air tomorrow.
WGNO.
On News with a Twist.
News with a
Oh, you're on News
Twist,
with a
yeah.
That's good.
And you were on OZ this afternoon.
Yeah, that was kind of impromptu. I'm at OZ every Wednesday doing production stuff, and,
Oh, cool.
and Derek Freeman hosts the New Orleans Music Show. And you were in with Cole a couple weeks
Couple
ago
weeks
for the
ago, yeah.
mental health benefit and left a show poster. So last week he was like, "What is this? Why don't I have it?" And I was like, "No one has it." He's like, well, bring it next week. So I
was
brought it
wondering
today,
the
and he was
same
like,
thing.
come talk about it. I was like, oh, okay.
So that's good. So you're getting the word out.
Yeah.
So the show
certainly.
is at Gasa Gasa on Ferret Street, just down the street
Yeah,
from
just a
here.
block or
And
two
on
away.
what night are we talking about?
Sunday.
Sunday, October.
And it's a Saints bye week, so we don't want to hear that shit about there's a game.
Yeah, I don't know what else
And I
anyone's
don't
going
want
to
to
be
hear
doing.
like I'm tired because you would be out if it were for the game.
Yeah.
So
That's true. It's a good point.
That's this Sunday, October the
Sunday,
8th,
yeah.
2017. If you listen to this after Sunday, October the 8th, 2017, you've missed it.
Yes.
But if you
Yes.
listen to it before, it starts pretty early, like it's
It's an
7
early
or
one.
something.
Yeah.
Well, doors are at 7, and then my
Okay.
group starts at 8, and then Catherine group starts at 9, and then we're doing a little duet set at the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And your
Cool.
band is the Crooked Vines.
No.
not
This
the
is
Crooked
different,
Vines.
actually.
This is not
Yep.
Michaela Braun and the Crooked Vines. Who is this?
This is Michaela Brown's quartet. It's my original stuff.
It's
So
pronounced Brown?
yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I never knew that after all these years.
I think you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I forgot
That's okay,
that.
though. It's really not a big deal. I've gone through this my whole life.
R-A-U-N. So
It's
if you're
German.
looking for this online anywhere.
Really?
Okay.
I'm very German by
Yeah?
like history, so there you go.
Maybe that's where.
Ava. Any relation to Ava?
No, but my actually weird fact. My great grandmother's name was Ava Brown.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought she
So-
pronounced it Braun, but maybe...
Oh well, probably.
It looks like it's spelled the same.
It is
according-
certainly spelled the same.
Isn't it... what about the people who make the coffee makers and all that sort of thing?
I wish I were related to
How do
them.
they
I mean,
pronounce it?
I love my family.
Isn't that pronounced Braun, though?
I think that is, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not German. I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's
But it's pronounced Brown in
Brown.
real German.
yeah. I'm sorry for if that
Okay.
offended anyone who's German, but it has
What, because
the
bad pronunciation?
yes. But it has the like little what do you call it in speech? I don't know.
Catherine, you will have to know the answer to that.
Not anymore.
No, only for one semester.
Well, that's
so.
an R that's got a sort of a German sound to it.
Yeah. But it's actually
Okay.
the word brown in German.
Okay,
Is B-R-A-N.
so who's playing behind you then at Gasa Gasa on Sunday, October the 8th at 7 p.m.?
So I have Sam Friend on bass, who just recently moved to Nashville with his band Stoop Kids. And then I have Jeff Janai, who plays with Cole Williams and The Quickening and a lot of bands in
Oh,
town.
wow, okay.
And Steve Panachek, who's actually also in Catherine's band.
Sure, lots
Yeah.
of things.
Does he get paid twice, or can you get him both
he'll
get him for the
paid
same?
twice.
All
That
right.
would be
will.
a great day for him.
Okay, he's having a good night. So why are you not using your regular band? What happened with them?
Well,
This
it's
is
not
her
my
regular
regular.
band.
This is
This
my
is
regular
yours.
band. The Crooked Vines is a project I'm a part of.
So
This is my music.
So
And-
you
and we-
don't take your songs to the Crooked Vines and end up...
Well,
Man, this
we
is-
write collaboratively. There are certain songs that I feel would fit better with the Crooked Vines, so we're releasing an album soon too in November, and 3 of the songs on the album are mine that
Okay.
I wrote. Actually, the last time I was here, James and I were here, and we played one of the songs. That's not one of the ones that I wrote, but
Okay.
it was the last time I used this.
So does this
battery
happen
pack.
in other cities? Because here it seems to be pretty common where people are in multiple bands and they're doing...
I had my band for a long social set back in the day, and I
Yeah.
was still singing with Gravy
And
Flavored
you were
Kisses
playing a
and writing
saxophone
music.
back in those days.
That was Sage.
Oh, that was Sage, not you.
Right. No.
Okay.
No guitar.
Do you look similar, or is it just
No, we don't look similar
nothing
at all. This happened last time too. It's okay. But she actually is playing with me on Sunday too. So
Okay, so she's in your band as well. So
Yeah,
what's
for the evening.
Catherine, what's your band called?
So we do. I have Steve Panachek as well on guitar. And I have a bunch of social set folks. So Joel Zobris is going to be drumming, and Sage will be there doing sax on a few songs. I have a string section. So Jack Kraft from Sweet Crew will be there, and Harry Harden from Johnny Sketch, and Danielle Rice from Nice. And
Wow, you got some.
and then my bass
heavy
player is
hitters.
Sam Albright, and we
This is
have
gonna be
some
a pretty-
special guests that I'm not supposed to talk about. So we'll figure it out.
Well, they're pretty special already, all these musicians who
Yeah,
are
come
coming
out to
along.
the
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
like
gonna be
it's a
pretty
big
good.
to do. I don't know. So Michaela, with her music, her original music, you mostly play like duo stuff and then some quartet stuff, but not usually like in this capacity.
Right. It's typically solo stuff, actually. I
Right.
love I've done duo stuff here and there. I think the beautiful thing about doing solo work is you can do whatever you want at whatever. Like if you decide to go into a different song or take a little piano solo or whatever, you can do whatever you want. With a duo, you can do that. You just have to know how to communicate it
Right.
to the people you're playing with.
Can you do that when you're dancing? Can you change your mind about something that's going on?
Oh, totally. There's definitely a space for improv burlesque. We actually have a show called Strip Roulette, which is on October 13th this month, and it will be a benefit for my mom's breast cancer fund. It's super fun. It's an improv show. It's
Strip roulette.
Strip roulette. It's a competition show. So we take 6 dancers, we split them up into 2 teams of 3, and we compete each other for bragging rights and prizes. And the catch is you get 2 songs that you've never heard, and you get a really obscure prop. So you could get Hit Me
cool.
Baby One More Time with the Hulk hands. You never really know.
I feel like that's
what's
like
gonna
whose
happen.
line is it anyways?
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. Improv, burlesque.
Where
It's
is
super
it?
fun. It's at the Always Lounge, October
Cool.
13th at 11 p.m.
That's
Friday the
that's
13th.
next Friday the 13th.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's a good night for House
Really
of
good
Shock,
night
I
for
would
us,
think, as
yeah.
well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can go to the House of Shock.
Is there such a thing as open
comes the
mic night for
strippers.
burlesque?
Open mic night?
Can you show up and
Yes.
just do...
So a while back, I actually had an open mic night essentially for burlesque. It didn't really catch on, but there is an open mic night at the Always Lounge on Tuesdays every week where you can just show up and pretty much do whatever you want.
on stage
And
as a stripper?
On stage,
slash
you can do
burlesque.
whatever you
This is
want.
time for our testicle tassel.
No, I
Okay.
really always encourage students and anyone who ever comes to me and says that they want to be a burlesque dancer, like, go to the Tuesday Always Lounge show and get on stage and try it out. And I've done it before
like
too, where I just show up
Okay.
and workshop a new number just to get it in front of
But
people.
you're a professional.
Yeah, but not
there
every
people-
act is good.
Right. Well, okay.
Well, much
Yeah.
like
Things
I guess in
take
comedy,
practice.
comedy
Right.
they'll get up and do sets, where
Right.
they can, don't work on their craft. So it's a good outlet, I would
Totally.
imagine.
Yeah, not everybody is funny. I mean, you can get up and people think they're funny and they're not.
Right.
But
I
it
guess
would
you'll
be
find out
great
quickly.
to watch burlesque dancers who weren't that good. That would be really funny in itself too, wouldn't it?
Well, no comment.
Is it?
I'm just
Isn't
gonna,
it?
I'm gonna plead the
Don't
fifth
you
on
think
that one.
It's almost sad.
I think
man.
it- is
Doesn't
it?
it feel
It's
sad?
kind of
know.
embarrassing for me.
Well, you're
I
a
get a little
professional.
embarrassed when
We're
every
just,
time
we're just drunk guys.
I see bad burlesque. There is a lot of bad burlesque in the world, and every time I see a show, I'm just like, "Ugh." And I feel upset, and I feel bad for them, and I feel bad for myself being subjected to it.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel when I go to a bad movie.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I'm
And
sure.
then you're mad that you spent $10 on it.
Exactly, and I have to sit here for an hour and a half and watch this shit.
That's
and
why you should workshop your numbers at the open mic nights. Go, get in
Yes,
front of
this is
people,
a-
we need to
this
work
is
around
a-
go to
Yeah,
classes.
Yeah, Ross, you and I got to get rehearsing.
I'm ready.
Yeah, it
Even if
drives
it's
me
terrible,
crazy.
I'm ready for it, guys.
How often is this open mic night?
It's every Tuesday at the Always Lounge.
Every Tuesday. Have you ever had dreams about being the burlesque dancer, Michaela? Or
No, but I
Thoughts?
very much enjoy going to burlesque shows. I really like them.
you wouldn't want to think about incorporating it into your performance?
Maybe not me doing it, but I would
But
certainly.
darling Darla James
Sure,
could get it, whatever
yeah.
her real name is. She might tell you her real name if you
I won't.
write her a check.
I would love pyrotechnics and burlesque and everything,
Oh.
lights, movies.
Collaboration.
Sunday night,
Now we're
we could always
talking.
add
Yeah.
some more.
I have a number where I burn my clothes off.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I never do it though, because no one ever wants to hire me for it. But it
Because
exists.
of the liability issues?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. What do
The
you
guys
do to
here.
prevent the injury. I'm just curious.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, there's no special gel you can use. There's nothing. It's
So you
all
just
just
take the risk.
clever engineering.
Yeah.
These guys here at Wayfair will totally waive the liability issues if you want to set your clothes
No.
on fire.
I don't have the right outfit on.
No, not right now, but I mean next week, say. This time.
So would the clothes be made sort of like flash paper, kind of like so it goes
Well,
up real
I don't
quick?
want to give away my tricks because
Okay.
there's only one other person in the country who does this act.
Okay.
But
So
if you want to
similar to
have me
flash
at the
paper.
House of Shock,
Yes,
we
Ross.
can-
Well, then I would get to know your real name because I'd have to write
You
it
have to
Yeah,
write the
exactly.
check. Well, you wouldn't
Yeah,
have to
there you
tell us that. But what about doing that at the House of Shock, Ross? Seriously, you burn off your bikini type?
yeah, I have a whole little costume that I burn away.
That would be something I might be interested in.
Yeah. I think everybody would be interested in that.
Well,
What
I'll
a
go to
great
House of
act.
Shock.
I could make a special one just for your show too.
Oh my god!
It's versatile. and do it anywhere.
How do you actually not burn yourself?
Magic.
Magic. Does it
Glitter?
Stripper magic.
Do you put Vaseline or something on
No,
it? What's-
Vaseline would make it so much worse. Vaseline would catch on fire so fast.
Oh, really? That
One day you might
Absolutely,
need
yes.
a rehab counselor.
So,
I'm really feeling like I see my future patient 10 years from now.
you think you've got problems with your skin cancer? Try setting your bikini on fire. So what is it that catches fire? Is it like a top and a bottom?
Yes. The one I currently have, I have two. I have a gown and I have a little Fosse style outfit. And
a gown.
It's really just clever
How awesome is that?
engineering on behalf of me.
I remember when I was a kid, there was some sort of a like a PSA type thing on television in New Zealand. If it was it featured a child with a nightgown getting too close to a heater, and the end of the nightgown went in the heater, and the whole thing caught on fire, and it was like a freeze frame with this kid screaming, burning to death.
Sounds like those old pot commercials.
It's kind of similar to that. Is that kind of what you're doing?
No, not at all.
Nothing similar to that.
No, the only parts that catch on fire are a specific sewn-in piece, and the rest of the costume is fire resistant. So it just like you put the flame against it, and it catches, and it falls off.
Wow, so a part of your costume falls off.
Well, eventually the whole thing. But
Wow. Oh, this is great. Okay, Ross, what do you
I
say?
love the idea. I can work.
How do we get you into the
you
House
can
of
write
Shop?
me
What
into the
happens?
budget next year.
Next year we'll.
Oh, we could
work
fit
that
you in this year, couldn't we?
Oh, could we? I don't know.
I will be
What
out
about
of
tonight?
town most
Oh,
of the
tonight
month.
you're going to Minneapolis tomorrow morning.
Yes, going to Minneapolis tomorrow morning and going to Cincinnati in a couple of weeks.
So what happens? You sit on a plane and the guy next to you says, "What do you do?" Or do you tell him I'm in the sex industry?
Sometimes I really
On the
try
bottom
to,
rung of the
sometimes it's just not worth explaining to people.
Right.
And I've tried to feel out every scenario and
That's
be
a poor
like,
choice
okay,
of
this
words.
person's cool, so I can talk to them, or this person is not cool, and I should just tell them I'm a lawyer.
Do you say that?
I'm an accountant.
That would do it. Do you say that, or
Pick the most boring
but
job
do you
ever.
actually say that, or do
I
you
do
not have
data entry.
You do.
No.
So what do you say? You end up telling the truth. You can't help it.
I try to fill out every scenario because everyone's different. There's been one time I was at the Apple store getting a battery replacement in my MacBook, and the guy next to me was a total douche and was being really rude to the little genius guy, and he leaned over to me and asked me what I did, and I was like, oh, I'm a burlesque dancer, and blah, and he's like, oh, I'm a huge fan. And it got really weird really fast. And yeah.
What is that weird about that though? Someone saying they're a fan of yours.
It was the term that he said it, or the way that he said it in, was very uncomfortable.
Oh, I see.
It's very much like, do you want to do private burlesque at my house sort of thing, and it was not
Is that a
cool.
possibility, by the way?
You can hire me for private events, yes.
Oh, for like a party or something.
Yes,
So I could
absolutely.
hire you at my place and you could burn yourself off.
Yeah,
Your
totally.
costume off. Oh, now that's pretty attractive.
Okay, now we're getting.
How much? We have to get out of here, but Thomas, if I can just ask one more question, how much would that cost me?
How much does it cost?
How much would it cost me to have you come over and burn your clothes off in my house? Not just for me personally, at a party.
My flat rate for private event fees minimum is $250. To do anything fire related starts at $350.
That's
The cost-
affordable. I can do
very
that.
affordable,
I can make that happen.
You can do that for us,
there we
Ross?
go.
Make that happen.
Okay.
I could bring my machete ladder to the House of Shock.
Machete
and
ladder.
a grinder act. I got
Grinder.
a whole ton of weird things that would work.
Well,
Yeah, so you
we'll
I
work on
saw that. I've seen that one where you grind your pelvic region with a angle grinder and sparks are flying from between your
pussy
legs.
magic.
Pussy magic. There's so many things to write down today.
Pussy magic,
Another one.
Whorachy.
You have to be careful what you put on Facebook, though. Have you noticed that? They do tend to close
Yeah,
your account down.
I get clocked every now and then.
We've been
But-
shut down a couple of times for putting stuff up on our
Yeah,
Facebook page.
I
It
try
is
to
pretty innocent.
screen everyone who
Yeah.
comes through my social media and be like, "Are you gonna
Do you,
report me?"
well, do you get shut? I mean, that's what happens is people turn you in. That's how you get that shut down by Facebook.
Totally.
They don't look at it. Someone has to turn you in and say there's a photo of a naked woman on our
All my super naughty stuff is on Patreon.
Patreon. That's a good thing to work into the conversation before we get out of here too. So if we go to patreon.com and we look up Darling Darla James,
I
we
will
can
be
find you.
there.
There's lots of ways to find you. Okay, guys, we've got to get out of here. So Darling Darla James is the person to if we look for that, and then we've got something that we haven't mentioned, which is work. WERK.
I have a new
You've
show.
waited the last second to bring this
I
up.
know. I'm just trying to squeeze it all in. I have
Okay.
a new show. It's called Work. It's a drink and drag burlesque happy hour at the Frenchman Hotel. They just opened up a brand new cute little rooftop bar. Happy hour starts at 7 p.m. and it goes on till the end of the night. And our show is 9 o'clock on Saturday, October 14th.
9 o'clock, there's so much stuff going on. 9 o'clock Saturday, October 14th. And what's on Friday, October the 13th? That was...
Friday is my mom's breast cancer benefit. It's strip roulette at the Always
That's
Lounge.
strip roulette on the 13th. Holy shit, there's too much stuff to remember here.
Sunday, October 8th is...
Sunday, October the 8th is Gasa Gasa for Catherine Rosewood and Michaela Brown. Together and individually. Their new albums are called Synapse in Michaela's case and In the Ashes in Catherine's case, and both available wherever music is stolen. I
Only
assume.
locally.
Yeah, we're
Sunday
releasing
night.
it locally on Sunday, and then I'm
Okay.
releasing mine nationally on the 10th, and then Catherine will be releasing hers on the 17th.
Well, congratulations to both of you. That's exciting news,
Thank you,
actually.
yeah.
Okay, and all this information is on our website at itsneworleans.com, where you can find out more stuff about Happy. And House of Shock is rolling along all the way through till and including Halloween.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A brand new event, the Wax Museum.
Oh, and how often is it open? Every night?
Every weekend, Friday, Saturday, leading up until the final week, where we throw a Sunday in there, and Thursday through Tuesday, which is a Halloween.
Okay,
Tuesday.
and can I just show up, or do I need to buy tickets or make a
You
reservation?
can just show up and buy tickets.
Okay, so you don't have to make a reservation or
Or
do
you
anything
can buy
online.
VIP tickets online as well.
Can, okay. And that's houseofshock.com.
Yep.
What's a VIP ticket that you?
Skip the line.
Oh, okay.
Ah, that's
Yes,
cool.
yes.
But the line is not such a bad thing to be in because there's all kinds of stuff going
There's a lot
on
of
the
stuff
street
going on,
outside,
right.
including your
My